It's funny how a city can be dangerous at every corner, in every minute, yet millions will still call it home. Good people will rub shoulders with bad and gamble every weekend on safe entertainment. There are many forms that entertainment will take, but on Friday, if you can get in, Suede plays his trumpet to a packed crowd of good people in the Lucky Penny Lounge. He's about to start his set in an hour, and one man just forced his way through the copper doors, bringing the club's capacity to one too many. His name is Chester. He is not a good person. Chester was an in-shape man of reasonable good looks and height. Had it not been for the night focusing all the ladies on Suede, he may have actually gotten some attention. That attention, though, would never last because Chester had a chip on his shoulder, and try hard as he might, that tip of the iceberg would always crash his proverbial ship. Of course, Chester would never blame himself, and therefore never learn. He peered through the crowd and set eyes on Suede sitting alone at a table, drinking a tall glass of red liquid with 2 cubes of ice.
The great and talented Suede. Look at you, man. I'm gonna buy you another drink, my friend.
Who is this loser? Doesn't he know Suede always sits alone before a set?
Hey, bartender. Another one for my friend here. I'm buying. What are you having, Suede? Suede, what's your drink? Love Potion, Red Rooster, Red Russian, Love Bug? I know them all.
It's cranberry juice. And I'm not your friend.
You tell him, Suede.
Well, well. He speaks. That's messed up, Suede. I'm a fan. I came down here to listen to you play, and you treat me like I'm some kind of punk? Tell me I ain't your friend? Who does that?
I do. I do that. I learned a long time ago that even when someone's buying, that doesn't mean the drink is free.
Whatever that means. The name is Chester, by the way. I'm gonna run this town soon.
I didn't ask for your name, and I don't need your company tonight.
What, that's it? You think you just shoo me away, and I'll scurry like the rest of these fools here who hang on your every note?
Who is this guy?
Nah, man. That ain't me. That is not
Go
Chester.
away, fool. We came here for Suede, and you're interrupting.
You better shut your woman's mouth, or I will do it for her. You understand, my friend?
Do you know that man?
Nah, man. I don't know that fool.
Do you know the girl?
What, her? That stupid girl? What?
What a pig.
Never seen her before in my life.
You called him friend. No, it seems to me either you make friends too easily, or you treat your friends pretty poorly. Either way, you don't come out sounding too good, Chester.
Oh, you think you know something, huh? You don't know nothing about me. I grew up hard. I ain't from this little dice of yours. I'm from Haverstraw, a city double the size of this trash heap and twice as hard to survive.
So why'd you leave?
Man, that place was getting too easy. I was bored. I always knew the angles, and the game started to feel rigged, you know? There's no rush in a game you know you can win. So I came to Dice. Conquer this city in a few months. Didn't sound too hard.
You think so? You think dice is easy?
Ha ha! When you know how to throw 'em, and I know how to throw 'em. Bap 7, bap 11, bap bap. Man, I never lose.
What a moron.
You sound confident.
Man, you darn right I'm confident. Got every reason to be.
That wasn't a compliment. It was a warning. Overconfidence makes you ignorant. Instead of seeing the danger, you walk directly into it. And before you know it, you've lost. Even worse, in some cases, people lose more than their lives. By the time they figure out being a nobody is safer, it's too late.
Let me guess. That's what happened to you. isn't it, Suede? Yeah, I bet it is. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth and a gift for music before you could even walk. Everything you ever wanted or needed just dropped at your ungrateful fingertips by your rich mommy or your rich daddy. By the time you figured it out, it was too late. You lost everything on gamblings or drugs. Who knows? Don't matter. But you lost it all. Now you play for nickels and can't even afford a proper drink. Oh, did I strike a nerve there? Hit a little too close to home, Suede? That's it, isn't it? You're some kind of chump or loser who lost it all. Now you play for the good little kids at the Lucky Penny. It's pathetic, man.
Brian, the large, imposing bartender who had been watching, made his way through the crowd. He stopped next to the table in between the two men. Chester sized him up, and although he was a little taller, he felt he could hold his own against him.
Who is this? Your babysitter? Suede, I can remove this man if you like. Man, go ahead. Try it. You'll see what happens.
Chester pulled up his jacket, exposing a handgun on his belt. He smirked, pleased with himself, then looked back at Suede, who had no reaction. When he did, Brian yanked him into the air, causing his head to whiplash. In the same moment, Suede reached across the table, removing the gun from the belt without Chester ever feeling a thing. Brian then threw a confused Chester back into his chair. Chester's face flared into a rage while reaching for his gun before quickly turning impotent and embarrassed as his hand gripped absolutely nothing. Brian pinned Chester down in his chair with one hand, then opened his large palm towards Suede.
Very good. You gentlemen enjoy the rest of your evening. Please continue to observe club rules at all times at the Lucky Penny.
Suede placed into Brian's giant palm Chester's revolver without standing from his chair. Chester only just now caught up to the quick, fluid motions that so easily disarmed him. He listened in angry frustration as Suede said,
Of course, Brian.
You better return my piece, Rob.
Or what? You'll kill him?
Yeah, man, I will.
Chester, you're a guy walking around town and fronting, and you think it makes you tough. I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna show you something real.
Is that so?
Yeah. If it helps or hurts, that's up to you.
Well, how about it? Everyone listen up. The great Suede is about to lay some knowledge on me. Go ahead.
My dad abandoned us before I can remember. My mother raised me the best a poor woman knew how, with great difficulty. I was like you, at one time learning life lessons the hard way. One night, I'm pulling a job for Mr. Casadante himself. I did something wrong and tossed some important package into the river to avoid the cops. It worked out, but I still had to explain things to Mr. Casadante. Everyone knows disappointment irritates him. To my surprise, he accepted my apology. But then he had his son, Benny, break the bones in my hands. Mr. Casadante then said, "Next time, throw yourself in the shaw, not my stuff." After that, I had to rehabilitate my hands at 39 years old, no less. My doctor recommended a trumpet for finger exercises. I laughed. I ain't played an instrument a day in my life, but what else could I do? It was hard at first, painful even. But after a while, though, I actually really started enjoying it. Even more so, I enjoyed the fact that it was illegal. No longer I needed to look over my shoulder. That feeling was amazing.
So what? You want a medal? You think you can just tell me some I found a skill late in life story and I'll go, ooh, ah?
No. And that's the something real you need to learn. It doesn't matter what someone tells you. You'll turn it into a favor. If I was born rich, then I'm a sucker. If I grew up poor, then I'm a sucker. Either way, you'll twist it so that I owe you something. Man, nobody owes you anything. You're just an angry little boy who's trying to figure out a way to riches that you wouldn't value even if you got them. You know what? If you're lucky, someone's only gonna break your hands. And I hope that's all. You haven't figured it out yet. Especially in dice. There's bigger monsters out there than Chester.
I'll show you a monster!
In a rage, Chester stood from his side of the table and reached across, grabbing the lapels of Suede's blue sports jacket. He pulled his arm back to fire his fist like a bullet when something held back the trigger. He turned his head and saw that 3 patrons, 2 of which were women, were holding back his arm. The rest of the crowd moved in, cramping him on all sides. He could not move.
Man, come on, get off me, man! Let go. Quit. Get your hands off me!
Just remember, Chester, you may run Dice City someday, but in here, on Friday night, I'm the king, and here is my army.
Suede held up his cranberry juice in a toast, then took a long, smooth drink. Chester could do nothing as the packed crowd shoved him, forced him all the way back to the front doors with multiple hands as Suede finally took the stage, calmly.
I know it's a little early to start for the night, but I'm feeling good. Tonight, I feel like the luckiest man in dice, with the best fans and friends. How do y'all feel about that?
Man! I'm gonna kill him. I swear to God, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him! Are you my contact?
Chester stood in the rain, still pulling in quick, aggressive breaths. He was unable to hide his violent undertones, so much so that the man who approached had to notice. Chester wanted it that way. He wanted the man to approach cautiously and nervous, even though he was a working contact. Instead, what he got was an unaffected man in a wide-brimmed fedora whose face was hidden from any light unless he took in a long drag of his cigarette. When he did, Chester saw the actual color of his fedora and pants were auburn. His shirt was a white button-up with no tie. Odd clothing for Dice's constant rain.
Are you Chester Trey?
Yeah, man, I am.
Yeah, then I'm your contact.
Good, let's get out of here then. I've had enough of this stupid club.
Yeah, well, the Lucky Penny probably isn't meant for people like you, I would say.
Hey, where are you going? Where's your car?
I don't have one.
What do you mean you don't have a car? It rains all the time here.
How can you not have a hat?
Man, whatever. All you dicers, man, it's like you're disconnected from the world around you or something. It's just, I hate this city.
I wouldn't play the lottery if I were you. Seems like you've been meeting a very particular few. You're unlucky, man.
I don't need luck. I've got skill.
Skill is helpful, but skill can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, especially here in dice. Trust me, it's Better to be a nobody like you than to catch the attention of the wrong kind of people.
Shut up, man. God. How far are we gonna walk in the soaking rain in this stupid alleyway anyway? We've been walking for like 20 minutes. There's not even any lights, man.
You in a rush?
And you're not? Come on, I'm soaked through here. Even my shoes are swimming pools. It's like I'm walking on sponges.
We're here.
Where? I don't see anything.
There! That door with the dull light above it. That's where we're going.
Finally, God.
Idiot! Are you a complete moron? Look at this place. Do you notice anything?
Don't put your hands on me, man.
Do you notice anything? Look around. Do you see any identifying marks around the door? A unit number? Advertisement on the brick?
Where? I don't see anything.
Listen. Do you hear anything? The sirens from before? Any cats meowing? Even the rain doesn't sound right, does it?
No, I don't hear anything. No.
Neither do I. Everything about this door silently screams danger. Do not enter. And here you come up walking like a fool looking for trouble. Get yourself killed in your own time, okay?
I ain't scared of nobody, man. The fact that you are makes you a chump. After this job, we ain't working together again, man. You a sucker.
Fine by me.
You a sucker.
We're here to see Mr. Body. We have an appointment.
Chester's mouth was wide open and in awe. The giant that came to the door was larger than most giants he had seen, nearly 9 feet tall and wider than the door width he was blocking. His impossible size dwarfed Chester's fit body by comparison. Chester hesitated when the giant's arm and hand extended as he stepped aside from blocking the door. The giant said nothing as he welcomed them inside. Once inside, Chester yet again was bewildered by the beauty of a rich home hidden behind the ugly, faded brick from outside. From the alley, it looked to be an abandoned building or a warehouse. Now inside, it was an immaculate mansion painstakingly decorated with ancient collections from all over the world. Chester turned to his counterpart, believing he would see the same shock and awe, but instead was surprised a third time. Dolly was completely dry. His pants, his shirt, and even his hat did not carry a single droplet of water, whereas Chester was soaked through and dripping on the very expensive carpet.
Hey, sorry about that. It's not my fault. Your boy here had us walk a half hour in the rain.
The giant grimaced, but then quickly turned and walked down the large hallway as the decorations from all over the world still continued on each side.
I ain't into all this junk, but man, I bet it costs a lot of money. Yeah, that's mine. That's mine too. Ooh. Yeah, this is all gonna be mine someday.
Dolly and the giant ignored Chester's foolish ramblings until finally they stopped at a single door at the end of the hallway. The giant took from his suit's interior pocket an old brass key that made a click when the door unlocked. He then again gestured for his guests to enter first. Inside was a large room decorated very much the same way as the rest of the antiques in the home, but also there was an extremely large desk at the back wall. After locking the door, the giant sat behind the desk, and that fit his impossible size.
Figures.
Mr. Body, I am uncertain as to why you sent for me. I was under the impression that our business was concluded. May I speak to Mr. Body, please?
Chester furrowed his brow. He was confused. He was about to speak when he noticed movement at the corner of his eye from behind the desk. His entire sense of reality became a question mark as he watched the giant melt, smash, and turn into a fleshy, unrecognizable blob. The disgusting sight lasted only seconds, but may as well have been hours to Chester's feeble mind.
Ugh. Oh, God.
By the time the flesh reformed, it was an old man of the tiniest of statures. Oddly, the suit the giant wore now fit the man as if it had been tailored just for his small frame.
Anyway, as I was saying to your guard, Mr. Body, I am uncertain as to why you've contacted me again. I believe that I made it very clear last time that our working together was no longer profitable. Ah, yes. You did make that clear, Salvador, and I would have respected you for it had you come through for me. Come through for you? I delivered you the package because that was our agreement. That is true. However, the man from the Midwest did not know what I thought he knew.
In a blink of the eye, a distinctly separate face started to form on the old man's left side, like a faded picture coming into view, then suddenly disappearing. Chester hadn't blinked in a while.
Okay, yeah, that must be very frustrating for you, but I made it very clear in our original agreement that the outcome does not affect pay or contract. Surely, though, you are a man who wishes to keep his clientele happy, aren't you, Salvador? If that was true, I would always be working for free. Fair point. However, I believe this case you will make an exception. Or else we will have other business. No, we will not have other business.
In a split second, the old man stood and enlarged into the giant's obvious size. Then he slammed his monstrous hand onto the desk.
Do not interrupt me! Or you'll do what? You and me both know that if you tried something, it might not go well. But I'm willing to learn for sure, if you'll humor me. You are correct, Salvador. I am unwilling to test that for now. Alright, our business is done. However, would you consider doing one last job for me? And I'll owe you a favor. A favor? Yes. A favor. No strings attached. I don't give these often, Salvador. No, I don't expect you do. We have an agreement. Yeah, I think so. Good. Very good. My secretary will provide you whatever you need, which, as I recall, isn't much. What is your name?
I'm Chester Trey. You may not have heard of me here in Dice, but in Half a Straw, I'm a household name. Nobody messes with me, Mr. Body.
Impressive, Mr. Trey. I look forward to learning everything about you. Welcome to my organization.
Mr. Body held out his hand from his seated position behind the desk. Chester shook it promptly, desperately trying to convey the illusion of strength in this impossibly strange situation. The old man smiled, the same way a pleased grandparent would, and Chester began to relax.
All right, man. All right, you can let go of my hand now. All right. All right, come on, man. Let go. Come on. Man, let go of my hand, man. I ain't messing around. I swear, man. Big or small. I'm gonna mess you up.
In a few disgusting moments, Chester poured out of his damp clothing in a fleshy blob, screaming what little he could at the pain his smashing bones caused him. That pain was short-lived, as very quickly Chester reassembled in his very own tailored-to-fit suit behind Mr. Body's desk. His first order of business was to begin patting down his body like someone looking for loose keys. He then paused his gestures and began to look for his own thoughts by rolling his eyes as if he could see inside his very own skull.
Wow. It seems Mr. Chester doesn't like Suede's music. That's shocking. No, wait. He doesn't like Suede personally. He does, however, begrudgingly think his music is amazing. I was gonna say, Chester has terrible taste in music.
Cool. Can I leave now?
Yes, of course. My secretary will see you out.
Mr. Body would like to thank you, Mr. Dolly, for coming to an agreement today. He rarely gives out favors, believe me. You must have made a real impression. Here's the file on your person of interest. Please provide updates regularly, if possible, at this number. Have a nice evening.
Let's see here. Carl, a former employee of VPI, has disappeared. Mr. Body would like a complete profile of Carl Sills. What an odd favor. This guy's a nobody. Why would he offer a favor specifically for this guy?
Salvador Dali's ruminations were interrupted by droplets of rain hitting the papers he was holding. He promptly dropped the manila folder, then creased the papers before finally placing them inside his pockets. He turned back to the door, taking a moment to think about his earlier counterpart, Chester. He hadn't had much time to spend with him. Only an evening, in fact. But in that short time, it was clear that Chester had hopes for himself. He wanted to run the city. He wanted to be a big shot that everybody looked up to. For a split second, Dolly smirked in morbid humor.
Well, looks like you got what you wanted, Chester. You really did become somebody.
Baby, watch my blood boil to an opalescent blue. Better draw the curtain. They're trying to catch a glimpse of you. Slowly watch the